Okay, you ready? Okay. All right, thank you. All right, I'm going to call this meeting to order, the regular meeting of Buena Vista Township, October 28th, 2019. Roll call.
Kelly.
Here.
Mr. Martinelli.
Here.
Mr. Turner.
Here.
Mr. Williams.
Here.
Mayor Sherrillo.
On January 8th, notice of this meeting was mailed to the Daily Journal and the press and duly posted in the main lobby of the municipal complex. All requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been met in compliance with the Sunshine Law. Okay, we will now stand for salute to the flag. Mr. Turner, want to lead us?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For the record, Mayor Sherrillo has arrived at 7:36.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Chuck.
Hello.
All right, Lisa, you want to go over approval of the minutes?
Yes, thank you. I have presented 5 sets of minutes for approval this evening. The caucus meeting, September 23rd, 2019. The regular meeting, September 23rd, 2019. The executive meeting, September 23rd, 2019. The workshop meeting, October 7th, 2019. And the executive meeting of October 7th, 2019. All members were present.
Motion to accept the minutes as read into the record. Second.
Okay, Lisa, roll call?
Kelly.
Yes.
Martinelli.
Yes.
Turner.
yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Sherrillo.
Yes.
Item 5, announcements, presentations, and discussions. Representing the New Jersey State Police here in Buena Vista Township, Trooper 1, Mark Adada. Join us at the mic, Mark, please.
Hi, how are you? My name's Trooper Adada. I'm the School Resource Officer for Buena Vista Township. Tonight I'm going to present the statistics for October. Again, like I say always, please contact the station with any questions or concerns. I'd be more than happy to help anyone if they have anything they want to share with me that we need to improve on or take care of. So for the statistics tonight, I have calls for service, 1,139. For motor vehicle stops, 820. Criminal investigations, we conducted 55. Burglaries were 2. For alarm calls, we have 58. Medical assists, 39. We did have 1 Narcan deployment by troopers. And as far as accidents, we have 36. Those are the statistics for the month of October. Thank you.
Thank you, officer. Is there any other announcements for the public while they're here
Thank you,
that
Mark.
you'd like to say?
Nothing as of now. Like I said, I do say it all the time when I come to do these meetings. Please, if you have any concerns or problems that you want us to work on or feel that we're lacking in some areas, please reach out for me. You can reach out for me personally. I'm at the station Monday through Friday if you want to ask for me personally. And again, any problems, concerns, or questions even, feel free to contact me at any time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Trooper, if I
Ma-
can,
yeah.
I might actually just defer real quick to our director regarding some vandalism that we've had in some areas. Maybe if you guys are available for just some extra.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Post Road, Cannon Range Road, just lately, it comes in spurts, but lately, the last couple of weeks, we've been having a few incidents,
Okay.
so,
Sure.
graffiti.
And I'll speak with you further on that, and then
Yeah.
we can get some more details. I'm sure
Absolutely.
there's troopers working on it now, and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, not a problem, yeah, great.
Listen,
Thanks a
Mark,
lot.
before you leave,
Sure.
I know that Assistant Commander Nicholson is on vacation in Missouri.
Yes.
But prior to him leaving, and I think I talked to you about this a little bit earlier, he indicated to me that you would spearhead having a group of troopers on the 31st, 4 to 6 in the 4 villages, and from 6 to 8 in Collings Lakes. I think it's important that we have a trooper presence there with the children up and down the streets.
Yes, sir.
Please follow through on that. You guys do a great job for us when we ask you, okay?
Sure. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, this next presenter, I don't know her, Christine Wilson, is going to come up here and talk about intergenerational services in our community. You can come right around, come up here at the mic. Christine, welcome. The Buena Vista Township welcomes you.
Thank you. So Mr. Turner had asked that I come and speak to the township about the services that the division has in Atlantic County. It's intergenerational services, so we deal with the very young and the very old. I have some flyers here that if you want to leave for the township.
Definitely.
I know you have our one flyer. That is the these all go together.
Okay, thank you.
And then this other one is for adult protective services.
Okay.
So there's, our toll-free number that you can call for services, it's 188. I just got,
Save some.
sorry.
Having one of them moments.
Yeah, I'm having one of those moments, thank you.
There you go.
188-426.
I have them all the time.
9243. And that's a toll-free number. We're on board from 8:30 to 4:30, Monday through Friday. We can help seniors or disabled with home-delivered meals, transportation, fix-it referrals, which is minor repairs to somebody's home. Our case managers can go out and do home assessments. You know, maybe there's some long-standing, oh, I'm sorry. Thank you.
You're doing
First
good.
time.
You're doing good.
Sorry. I'm a little short. But our case managers can go out and assess an individual for services, you know, whether it's a longstanding program or a program that is means tested based on what their monthly income is or what their resources are. They then will walk them through the process and doing the application process. They can help them with PAD cards, which is a pharmaceutical assistant card, arrange for transportation through our transportation unit, and provide, you know, a vast array of different services. Also within our division is adult protective services that investigate cases of abuse, neglect, or exploitation to anybody who's age 18 or older residing in the community and is subject to abuse, neglect, and exploitation. The case managers have 72 hours to respond to those inquiries. We then will go out unannounced and make a visit and determine whether or not there is a case of self-neglect, exploitation, or abuse. But by calling the toll-free number, you can inquire about a varied array of services. Any questions? Sorry
No,
for
I
the
know you
little
do
moment.
you do a great service.
Thank you.
And
Sorry for the
now
moment.
for the transportation, that's for the medical appointments?
Yes, and they also do some shopping trips, yes.
Okay, and usually, my understanding, about 2 weeks' notice, if they need
Yeah.
a medical, they should call 2 weeks ahead of time
They should, yes,
to be scheduled, okay.
please.
All right. Well, Christine, I thank you.
Thank you.
This is really, you know, I used to work for the county, and this is really a good service. A lot of people don't realize what Atlantic County actually does for the young and the elderly. I knew because I worked for them, and, you know, I called up the county administrator, who know very well. And thank you, Christine, for coming and bringing the flyers and giving us a synopsis of what you actually do. And I hope that the citizens on the western end of this county, especially Buena Vista Township, take advantage of it.
Right, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Diane and Lorraine, you're no strangers. Come on up.
Yeah, Diane and Lorraine come every year, and you're going to tell us this year what the latest is and the schedule. Get close to the microphone.
Okay, thank
so
you.
can
First
hear
of
you.
all, I'd like to thank you very much for having us here once again. Teresa, you've just been so supportive of us and our endeavor, which is an international boutique fundraiser. And this is going to be held, this year, it's going to be held at St. Augustine Prep. This will be our 11th annual sale, and the money all goes to help women and children. The Amortel is managed by women, and it helps and empowers women and children throughout the world. It's a relief organization, a global relief organization. And I started to say, it's going to be on December the 7th at St. Augustine Prep, and also December the 8th. So we'd like to invite you all to come. A little bit of background about Amortel. We have projects all over the world that we sponsor. And so we have them in Thailand, and in Greece, and in Haiti, and Peru, just to name a few of the countries. Haiti is always in need of something, you know, and we have a woman that has worked there for years. She has right now 28 children living with her in her home, but she also has schools, and she has, you know, their clinics. And we have a microcredit program that works very well in Haiti, where women can borrow money, and then, you know, they pay it back, but at the same time, they can start, you know, a little business for themselves or something of that nature. We also collected money for the recent hurricane that happened in the Bahamas, and we don't have anyone to send down, but we're planning on partner with another organization that's similar to ours that will help, you know, to use the funds for rebuilding, you know, whatever is necessary there.
And Diane, you also help people in the United States too, so.
Well, yes,
just to
as a
remind
matter of
people.
fact, proceeds from the sale that we have at the prep school goes to, you know, these projects, but also locally. As a matter of fact, one of the projects that one of the organizations that we fund is the Homeless Women's Shelter. Okay? So, all right, thank you. So some of the things that we have, well, we have an array of things from all over the world, you know, from Thailand, from Kenya, from Haiti, from all over. And if you've been to the sale before, we always have new items. New items come in every year. So I guess we can start with some toys. Yeah, we have things for children, little toys, xylophones, little eggs that shake. We have wooden puzzles and things. So you can do possibly, you know, your shopping, your Christmas shopping there. We have jewelry boxes. We have beautiful jewelry boxes. I think that's from Nepal. We have a lot of jewelry. We have tables full of jewelry. We have bracelets. We have beautiful pendants. These were made by people in India. The stones were brought in from Brazil. And then, and these little machines, you can't even imagine, they are able to form these stones, and this is carnelian, and shine it and polish it and, you know, sell it and get a little bit of income. This mirror is from Haiti, I believe, and this is all made from recycled metal, if I'm not mistaken. We have this pocketbook, is from Kenya, a big market in Nairobi, and it makes a beautiful beach bag or something. People have already admired that one. Lamps with plastic bag hanging out from the bottom.
That's good.
Yeah.
Hold the bulb and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's really beautiful when it's all lit up.
Yeah, it really is much nicer than a night light. It makes a beautiful glow in your house. We have beautiful rugs. The rugs are from, they're all hand woven. They come from Nepal and Tibet and India, and they're all different sizes.
Yeah, this is a small one, but we do have really big ones.
Really large ones. We have a really beautiful display of rugs. We have, you know, different kind of clothing. We have women's tops, men's shirts, pants, tunics, you name it. We have hats, we have gloves, we have housewares, a little bit of everything. This is a beautiful poncho. It's a little interesting. There you go.
It's kind of weird.
Anyway, it's a poncho.
Yeah.
Uh,
Pretty when it's on.
Yeah,
Don't mind me, I'm having technical difficulties.
it's okay. Yeah, anyway, and then lastly, we brought is this lovely jacket. I think these are made in Nepal. This one, it has a hood, beautiful embroidery along the front and along the back, very warm, and I guess that's it. As I said, the proceeds all go to one of our projects, or to many of our projects, actually, and also to local organizations that are helping women or women and children. And I hope you'll be able.
Questions?
Oh, we have.
So it's December 7th and 8th, and what are the times?
Yeah, it's from 10 to 6, 10 to 6 on the 7th, which is Saturday, and then 10 to 5 on the 8th, which is Sunday. And did I say everything I wanted to? I wanted to tell you I have new items every year, and we will be having sale too. Last year, we put some things out on a sale table, and we'll do the same thing again this year.
Some of the things that have been around in a couple of years, we put out on
We put
sale so that
sale.
people get a chance to buy something else if they want.
Yeah. Okay, so I'd like to invite you all to come again, and thank you so much for having us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I wish you luck this year again. Thanks for all your work.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Oh, excuse me, could I just say one more thing?
Sure.
If you don't mind.
Yeah, go
If you
ahead.
don't mind. If anyone would like to look up the organization, it would be www.amurtel, that's AMURTEL.org. And you can see the different projects that we have. And if you'd like to see other things that we have that will be available, you can go into the internationalboutique.org, and you'll see different things, a variety of things that we have.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Committeeman John Williams will give the Martin Luther King Community Center report tonight, simply because Quentin McClendon took a vacation day today. John?
Thank you. In September, the visitors decreased by 263 from the previous month, and the decrease was due to the ending of the summer lunch program. There was 399 attendees in August. The Head Start program began on September 6th, and due to a reduction in state grants, the class was reduced by 50%. So that required eliminating one teacher and one teacher's aide. And also there was a consolidation of the meal service. The meals will be prepared over at the Hamilton facility and then transported over to the MLK Center. Also, these approximately 18 children are attending the Head Start program, and they're from 3 to 5 years old. Also, they obtained some equipment for the MLK Center. A leased copy machine was obtained, and also one computer, Dell desktop computer. Also, the African American Heritage Museum features several exhibits at the MLK Center. Back from Mother Africa is a collection of Shona stone figures, carved wood sculptures, artwork, and photographs from Joseph P. Young, Ralph Hunter Sr., Frederick Bacon, and Stanley Robinson. The show also highlights colorful prints, painting, carved, and inlaid objects, and decorated ceremonial masks. Also, the 50th anniversary of the Martin Luther King assassination features over 100 pieces, including photos, documents, and news articles from times leading up to the assassination through the aftermath of our country's month after the loss of Dr. Martin Luther King. That's all I have, Steve. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Our Director of Public Works, Brian Johnson.
Good evening, Mayor, Township Committee, residents and the public. Department of Public Works October monthly report. Start out on October 5th of this month. We host our monthly resident drop-off. We had another decent turnout from residents, dropped off brush, oil, and e-waste materials. We've been keeping up on all the dirt roads. Everything's being repaired and graded. Roadside trash, tree, brush cutting has been done throughout the township. Public Works crew has cut down 4 more hazardous trees before they were able to blow down during the storms and taking out any poles or power lines. All yard waste and brush have been picked up or chipped. Potholes have been filled and repaired throughout the township. Large and small projects, repairs and upgrades have been made at Town Hall, MLK Center, and other township-owned buildings. And several of our fleet vehicles have been repaired. Continuous maintenance and servicing of all other equipment has been maintained. Public Works Department was visited by the Environmental Health Unit again this month. They showed up for one of their annual inspections. We passed with flying colors. The inspector was very pleased with the additional upgrades that Gene, the guys, and myself has made, and how clean and organized the yard was. So he was happy the way everything's running smooth over there at the Public Works yard.
So you got no write-ups this time for
No,
the first time, huh?
we got a
That's
clean
pretty good.
slate. Yes, correct. So he's very happy about that. And last and not least, I'd like to go over the leave pickup schedule one more time. So it's going to be Collings Lakes, the first collection. It's going to be the week of November 12th. The second collection is going to be the week of December 9th until completion and weather permitting. DeRosa Drive, Cedar Gardens, and Country Club. Your first collection is going to be November 4th, 5th, and 6th. Your second collection is going to be the week of December 2nd. Once again, until completion or weather permitting. I just want to remind all the residents, please make sure all your leaves are raked all the way out to the street. If you're going to leave your piles 10 or 15 feet on your property, I'm sorry, we're not going to be able to pick it up. we're gonna have to leave you a sticker, and we'll be able to pick it up on the second round, but we just, we can't come that far off the road, because our hose won't reach, and it's very tough for us to get the machine in there. We're not picking up any bag leaves during this time, and please make sure that your piles are clean. Carlo did an outstanding job once again, having to rebuild the leaf vac machine, because for some reason we end up with toys, tools, rocks, concrete blocks, sticks. We find a nice assortment of fun stuff inside the leaf vac, which it's taking its toll on the equipment, so it's very tough to keep it running when you residents have things hid in their leaf piles. So we'd like to have a better year this year. It really put a hold on us last year. We had a lot of problems with the debris going through the machine and causing us a lot of trouble. So I ask that you guys just pay attention to what's in your leaf piles. Appreciate
And
it.
Brian, I'm sure you still check before you do
Absolutely.
it, but you still, some of these things
Yeah,
still get in
absolutely.
there.
Before we start, we do send a crew around to check everything, and then our two rakers that run above before the leaf vac machine with the rakes, we go through the piles with a rake handle, but
But still,
it is
this
easy to
happens.
miss, because I mean, some of the leaf piles are larger than that dais up there, so it's hard to catch it. You know what I mean, for sure.
Also, Brian, it cost a lot of money last year with the debris,
Yes,
and it
correct.
cost us a lot of money to repair that machine, a tremendous amount of money. A lot of people, put in bricks and stuff like we said, so please, just be careful, just leaves, please.
Yes. That ends my monthly report. Mayor, committee, any questions, comments, or concerns?
Sounds like you're doing a good job, so.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Mayor.
Our township engineer, Dave Scheidek.
Thank you. I have a couple of items I'd like to touch on from my report. We had a few street openings this month. They were all for converting existing houses to natural gas. The days of us having big extensions throughout Collins Lakes and stuff like that seem to be over for now. Most of our older services and the mains have all been upgraded, which also means there's less emergency repairs. We get very few emergency street openings anymore because our mains have all been replaced. Weymouth Malaga Road Phase 6, the DOT is reviewing all of our closeout documents. The Public Works Building addition, I don't have much to report on for this. The USDA is reviewing the plans and specifications that are up there. I fully expect that we'll hear something back from them shortly so that we can put that project out to bid again. Our 2019 local road program, which we received $290,000 for from the DOT, has been fully designed. We are on hold with going out to bid until we hear back from the DOT for our most recent grant application, which is for the remainder of Chestnut Avenue. That grant application was for $456,000, which was submitted in the middle of the summer, and I anticipate that we'll hear in the next couple of months that will be approved for that. So hopefully, if all goes as planned, we'll put all of Chestnut Avenue out for bid over the winter and get that done in the spring. A couple other items that aren't on my report. Beginning part of the month, we had a meeting with the New Jersey Department of Transportation and Conrail, what's called a diagnostic team meeting. This was for the railroad crossing upgrade on 6th Road. That's a very antiquated crossing, so they're gonna put in new 12-inch LED lights, new warning bells, new mast arms, double-sided crosswalks, new signage, new paving from the rails out to where we recently repaved, new signs, new striping, all of those types of things. That's gonna happen probably sometime over the summertime. There will be a detour in effect during that work. We will let you know well in advance of when that happens, but that's coming and that's much needed. Two things happened at that meeting. We request some additional upgrades. So the DOT and Conrail has agreed to put some upgrades on Eisenhower Avenue. They're gonna put some signage on that side street that's right next to the crossing, and they're gonna restripe our bus stop with thermoplastic markings so that it's bright and you can see the designated bus stop there. The second thing we did is we petitioned them for additional crossings in Buena Vista Township. Further down the line, there's a crossing on 10th Street, and then there's a crossing on Jackson Road. Both of those need to be updated. We brought that back to their attention, and they say they're gonna put it on the schedule for 2020 for us. So all those things are good. Lastly, I want to make you aware that the tractor supply that was approved by the planning board for Wheat Road, they'll be breaking ground shortly. We had a pre-construction meeting. They've posted all their bonds and their inspection escrows. They've got their signed plans and their county approval. So they're looking to get started on that really quick. And they approximate 7 to 8 month construction time, we'll have a new tractor supply in town.
Sounds good.
Those are the items on my list in the abbreviated version.
Anyone have questions for Dave?
You know, one thing, Dave, I think in 2020 or either 2021, they're gonna do Jackson Road also. I believe, that's what, the DOT, told me. I was talking to him. And also, Brian has some other, crossings that are bad and they're gonna work on them. But, they don't, like I said, they work a year to 2 years behind, so you got to really, get with them and get on, because their funding is year to year, and it's you got to get on board, because he told me they have 200 crossings they have to do, but fortunately we were able to get 6 roads done quickly, and they're going to do Jackson and some of
And 10th.
ones right, 10th, yeah.
Right, and because of that pressure, they've moved it up on the schedule,
On the
because it was
schedule, right.
originally 2023 or
Right,
2024.
right, 'cause I talked to the
Oh,
So
gentleman.
that worked out well.
I talked to him for a half an hour and we became friends, I think.
There you go.
Good work, Mr. Turner, moving it up.
Done, Dave?
I am.
Item 6, Mayor's Report.
Thank you, Steve. As Dave was mentioning about the tractor supply, we announced it in our last edition of the community, our newspaper, the Hometown News, and that is scheduled to move along pretty rapidly during the early part of the new year, and probably by late spring, early summer, be on Wheat Road in Buena Vista, basically across from the dollar store, which is in Buena Borough, and right around the corner from Intelligent. So it's a good addition to the community, a good rateable for the community, and I look forward to seeing that happen. There's a couple other topics I wanted to touch base on, which I will in a moment. We have gotten through a lot of events this year very successfully with our special events committee, and we have some new ones coming up for the fall. Some of them not necessarily new, but repeats. We have a township special event sponsored gift boutique. Last year that was tried out at the King Center, and this year it's going to be tried out at Township Hall. If you have any questions, you can look at the website or Channel 9 or in the newsletters you have received from us. But that is this is a second year event, and it went well for the first year. We have the tree lighting that will be coming up in the beginning of December, and currently we are collecting toys. The toys are being dropped at the Township Hall in a kind of a toy chest that we have in the main lobby, and those toys are then used as part of the gifts that are redistributed during our tree lighting ceremony in the beginning of December. So there's a lot of nice holiday things coming for people in Buena Vista. The KMA Seashore Lines has announced their train schedule. You can find it at their website. That information can be found in the online, or you could simply type in Santa Express or KMA Seashore Lines and get that information. Most all tickets for that have to be purchased over the internet. There's very few available at the door, and they are trying a couple of different things. Majority of the trains this year are leaving from Richland and basically taking a 1-hour trip with entertainment and Santa Claus and some young ladies doing singing and giving out candy canes and things like that. It's become very, very popular over the last 10 years, and is something that continues to do well. Also, come mid-November, the Pacton Valley Model Railroad will be opening. They are there every weekend, and they do work usually on Thursday nights, but they're open to the public officially on Saturdays and Sundays in a good part of November and most of December and most all of January. And it's constantly changing. So if it's been a year or two you haven't been there, a number of new items for you to take a look-see. Admission is free. They do take donations, but it's always a work in progress at the Pacton Valley Model Railroad on Route 40 in Richland Village. On a more serious note, I wanted to read something to you tonight. Last month I excused myself, took a shorter mayor's report because I wanted to make up a little more time tonight. And there's an issue that's been brewing with the township for, well, it's been multiple years, but more focused in the last year, a year and a half. And that has to do about, emergency medical services. So there's an article, it's in our Community Times and a couple other places, but I think it's worth your listening to. It's only a few minutes long, but big changes in the air for local emergency medical services. This is an article that I wrote along with other people who have been helping this project along, namely Soren Buena, the chief of the BVT EMS, Lisa Tilton, our township clerk, and various members of other fire companies. This is going to be the first in a series of articles. So what you hear tonight will be a different article in December and January to try to get to this change. This is a whole new way of doing things in Buena Vista, and people are going to be a little confused to get started with. Through many years of work with the New Jersey State League of Municipalities, I led an effort in offering emergency medical volunteers and firefighters more opportunities for the services they provided our towns. At one time, this work was almost done always on a volunteer basis. I worked with the New Jersey LoSAP, which is the Length of Service Awards program, to give these hardworking local volunteers a sense that they would have a pension or benefits waiting for them for their many dedicated years of service without a major impact on our taxpayers. Well, the times have changed, and they've changed dramatically. With 23 towns in Atlantic County, Buena Vista was the last, or just about the last town to be amongst the towns that still had volunteer medical services in our community. That has changed as of this year, and the time has come when major decisions had to be made. When you need help in a time of an emergency, someone will be there to answer your call. The average rate for these EMTs, emergency medical technicians, involves a great deal of schooling and follow-up education. Would have cost generally now, with the minimum wage being close to $15 an hour, and will likely go higher in the future. A year ago, Buena Vista Township started to make a plan in conjunction with our own Buena Vista Township EMS. It was a separate organization, it is separate from the township, to keep the ship floating. And we've been finding that it is becoming a major difficulty to attract an employee at $15 an hour to put the time in and training to be an EMT. In addition to that, they also work in conjunction with our local fire districts. If they already have a two-income family and have, it's not such an easy thing to add a busy position like being a EMT volunteer into your schedule. Our local ambulance does not remain in the same once the program becomes non-volunteer, we do not remain in the same status that once became a paid service. We become a paid service where maintenance and rules for the EMTs become much more stringent under state regulations. Just a very few months ago, back in the summer, after a year's worth of studying and putting together new funding efforts, and the township and the fire district stepping up to contribute a large share of taxpayer dollars to provide these services, we are finding it is still one of the hardest decisions to make in the months to come. Buena Vista Township EMS, led by Chief Soren Hudema, will begin this new program and has begun the new program with their newly approved state-regulated vehicles under a plan where they receive inspection from the state and allows them to then collect certain types of claims of money from your insurance company. Could be your car insurance or homeowners insurance, in a way that the impact does not hit your pocket directly, but allows these agencies like the BVT EMS to collect some money to keep their operation going. In order to contribute towards the overall expenses, it's a very complex issue, and the township will continue to share the information with our residents well into 2020. So when the ambulance arrives to help you in an emergency, it will be operating under different conditions, and the township will continue to provide updates as we go along. There'll be further, like I said, details in December. The big difference is many towns have this type of service. As I said, in Atlantic County, they all have it already. But it's one thing to receive a bill for the insurance, and we handle it in the best interests of our residents through the organization that is set up. It's another thing to then push to collect money with sometimes people who cannot afford to pay the bills. We're looking for the lesser of the two evils, to bill where we can bill, send out the bills, receive what monies we can, and then at that point try to keep operating to keep the service going to the whole township. And we have some negotiations coming up in the next few weeks, and like I said, we'll have more for you in the very near future. So just wanted you to know the basic details. Unfortunately, everything nowadays is all about money. If you go to a company that specializes in ambulances and ambulance service, whatever dollars we put together to run a local one here, or in whatever pool of monies that can be raised, you can add 150,000, maybe even 200,000 to that cost if a private firm enters the agreement. So it's savings without savings and new to people, and we just want people to be prepared that change is coming. This is not a township-operated service. It is a township-contributed to service, along with fire districts contributing and other donations that they receive, plus the insurance money. So that's it on that particular topic. last thing I have, and I don't want to keep everybody too long on this for now, but as many people know that you haven't seen me at a number of the meetings in the last number of months, and I want you to know that I am 200% involved in doing everything I always have and always will do for Buena Vista Township. Unfortunately, in the later part of 2017, I took 2 bad falls, and those falls threw out my equilibrium to the point where I needed a number of operations done to get me walking and moving around normal again. New lumbar, new back, new sections of the spine, removal of part of my stomach, etc. Nothing that I really want to tell you more detail than that, but to say to you, rather than having people say, what's wrong, why we haven't seen Chuck, I follow all our events. I work on the community calendars and newsletters, join in many calls that we do, like with conference calls and special programs, and look for special monies and projects to help the township. I feel it's in my mindset. I've been doing it for 28 years, and I wish to continue to do that. I wish the residents to know that it's number 1 priority in my heart. And I just wanted to, at least for tonight, say that that's where I'm at with it, and I'm working hard to try to make it valuable for both the township. We're very fortunate with the other folks that are in the front of the room here tonight to have most all of the community events getting covered by the Township Committee, and the meetings being handled with Teresa and Steve and the rest of the team, and we're still moving along, and a lot of great projects to come in 2020. And that's my comments for tonight, everyone. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chuck.
Item 7, ordinances for introduction, first reading, there being none, I'll move to item 8, ordinances for public hearing, second reading, 79-2019, fixing and establishing wages and salary ranges for officers and employees. At this time, I will defer to Lisa Tilton for disposition and explanation.
Ordinance 79-2019, it is done normally every year or every other year. Just fix the salary ranges for each of the individual positions within the township. I've presented this at this point in time to get ready for 2020 and hopefully be able to cover through 2020, 2021, so we don't have to continue to adopt the ordinance. So the ordinance I have presented will be able to cover those wage changes that are expected in the future.
I think it should be noted that we have a few changes that are occurring that make some of these changes necessary. We have a new public works director who is just about ready to graduate from Rutgers with the certification, public management certification. We have a new recycling coordinator, which will be working in hand with Gene Sykes, who will be gradually phasing out, doing the recycling coordination. We have an employee in the township that's taking on expanded duties with different departments rather than hiring additional people. They'll be working for 3 different offices instead of 1 or 2 offices. And these are what these changes are about, and a couple of them are shaped on the basis of being one-time merit type increases because of the work that they have been doing and what they have proven to the township they can do.
Okay. Do we have a motion for ordinance 79, 2019? Oh, we forgot to read, you forgot to
Motion
read that
to
to open to the public, number 9. Steve, read that.
Pardon me?
No, it's number 8.
Number 8. No, but I mean, he usually reads about the public.
No, but
comment.
But we have to open it public now.
Okay, that's right. Okay, motion to open to the public, second.
Second?
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, if anybody wants to question ordinance 79, 2019. This- microphone.
Hi, I'm Sue Barber, 932 Main Avenue, Richland. I have a question. When I was on the Township Committee, we all had one salary guide, the committee. And I think I left it was about $8,000, so each committee person got $8,000. The mayor got extra. At that time, it may have been $9,000, $10,000. How much does the mayor get paid now? I think it was 15, or is he getting paid 16? He'll get 16,000 next?
No. No, I think it's around 10
Here's
or
the cap
under,
of what
under
I
10.
can earn, and
The
it's-
cap is
I-
16,000 for
Is
2020.
that approximately 15,000?
Yeah, I think we're right around.
Well, the cap,
15.
but that's not what you get paid.
I don't have the number right in front of me, Sue, for you. For that salary resolution, we do that in the beginning of every year, so I don't immediately recall it.
Okay, since we are a township committee form of government, everyone is equal. And then the committee decides who's going to be mayor. You know, you're decided by your peers. And I understand that, but I got a phone call in Columbus Day from the mayor saying that he's been in the hospital for a year and a half. I was just wondering, does he still getting that extra salary? I mean, he's not.
There's been various procedures during that time, but not a nonstop continuous stay.
Okay, well, I just think the taxpayers should know how much the salaries are of the committee. I mean, everything goes up, and I think we're one of the highest paid committees in Atlanta County. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. All right, a motion to close.
Moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now I need a motion to pass this ordinance, number 79, 2019.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Okay, roll call?
Kelly,
Yes.
Martinelli,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Sharilla.
Yes.
Item 9, public comment on current agenda items only. In order for the committee to conduct the business of the township in the most productive manner possible, meeting attendees will be given 2 minutes, all inclusive, to comment on any agenda item or items without comment or question from the committee, but only on items specified on the agenda listed for the current meeting. Please stand at the microphone at the appropriate time, state your name and address for the record. Item 10, resolutions 207-19, authorize payment of the bills in the amount of $2,252,097.49. For the record of this expenditure, the school board takes $871,956.24, making the municipal expenditure $380,141.25. Consent agenda, item 11. Consent agenda includes items of business which are not controversial and do not require individual discussion. A motion approving the consent agenda is moved, seconded, and voted upon by one item by the Township Committee. If any discussion is requested on a consent agenda item, it is removed from the consent agenda to the regular agenda. Resolutions 208-19, authorizing the issuance of street opening permits to South Jersey Gas. 209-19, authorizing cancellation of taxes due to veterans exemption on 409 10th Street. 210-19, authorizing wait a minute, I just read it? No, it's-
No, it's two.
yeah, there's two, okay, sorry. Authorizing refund of tax payment due to veterans exemption on 409 10th Street. 211-19, authorizing cancellation of grant appropriated reserves. 212-19, requesting the New Jersey DOT to investigate turn lanes at Route 54 and Weymouth Malaga Road. 213-19, adopting Buena Vista Township Emergency Operations Plan, or OEM Plan. Thank you.
I do want to say on 2/12/19, that one in particular, we have applied to the county on previous occasions for an additional turning lane at 54 and Weymouth Road. Logistically, they've turned us down a couple of times, but every now and then it can't hurt to try again. So we had a public request on it, and we're putting it through to see what the county will look at this time for us.
Okay, we want to vote on the resolutions, the consent agenda. Do I have a motion? Public comment again. Anyone have, let's open it to the public for any public comment on any of the resolutions that were just mentioned.
Julie Akers, Newtonville. I have a question on the bill list. $1,127,423 for the debt service payment. Is that for that $5.5 million?
It's part of the 5.5 million, so this was a note that we pulled last year that came due, so the money and the proceeds from the 5.5 paid for the 1.1 million, so that note is gone and it's all encompassed into the 5.5.
Okay, so how will this be coming up again?
No,
Okay, so this is
it's all part of that 5.5 million that we sold about a month or so in July.
Okay, what is our debt service payment per year on that 5.5 million bond?
I don't want to guess, but I know that there's a scale that was provided by the auditor at the time that we did it.
Okay.
That I could provide if needed, but it will bring us out basically, I think it was about 10 years to be paid.
Okay, and I remember they had a varying scale.
Yes.
Okay, so this is one time. Okay,
Yep, this is one time and it pays off the note, so we're good. It turned into permanent financing in July.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, we need a motion to pass the resolutions, 208 to 213.
Motion to accept.
207-19 bills.
Do the bills, gotta do the
Oh,
bills.
let's do the bills, sorry about
Yeah,
that.
we did the bills first.
Okay, resolution to pass 207-19.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Roll call,
Kelly,
yes.
Martinelli,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Shirillo.
Yes.
Okay, next, on the consent agenda. I'm asking for a motion to pass 208 to 213.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Okay, roll call,
Kelly,
yes.
Martinelli,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Shirillo.
Yes.
Okay, Lisa, you want to go first with your report?
Thank you very much. Just a quick couple things. I know the mayor mentioned all the events that we have going on throughout the winter. One thing I do just want to mention is we also have our annual food drive that is currently being conducted for both the Thanksgiving holiday and also for the Christmas holiday. We do have donation baskets that are here at Town Hall. They're also at every post office that the township has within our area and also at the MLK Center. Any food that is donated goes to the MLK Center to be given out at their food pantry, which is done basically every week or once a month. And then any food that is left over at that point also is shared within the local churches in our area for their food pantry as well. If we happen to receive an overflow, which we did last year, and that was excellent. So we want you to overflow us because it helps all the local food banks, and all the food is donated throughout here in Buena Vista Township. So I just wanted to mention that. I also wanted to say thank you very much to the Public Works Department. We shut down the MLK Center for a couple days, and they redid the floors in the back room. My understanding, they look awesome. They were stripped, they were waxed, and waxed and waxed and waxed again. So, 5 times. So I know it was a lot of hard work that the guys had to put in for that. It was a great addition and change. Again, that goes with the improvements out at the MLK Center between that and the carpets, some various equipment that they received as well this year. Eventually also we'll be redoing the front deck that's out there. So a lot of great improvements to the community center to be able to get back. It is a very busy center for a lot of activities that go on out there. So I wanted to say thank you to the Public Works Department. And also for Quigley Park, the basketball courts out there are done over at Quigley Park. They have been resurfaced completely. They have new basketball nets and all painted. So we encourage the residents out in that area that if you just want to go ahead and shoot around, please feel free. It is completely resurfaced and safe. So we encourage everybody to go out to Quigley Park. And again, a big thank you to Public Works Department. They were able to save us a lot of money and able to keep that work in-house, so we didn't have to contract that out. So it was a great job to them.
That's a big savings.
They did a
We
terrific
appreciate
job.
that.
They did a great job. Yep. And that is my report. Thank you.
Okay. All right, who from the committee wants to go first? Dave, John, or Steve?
Go ahead, Steve.
All right.
Every third Saturday at the Baptist Church in Richland, Reverend Mallory has a men's fellowship breakfast. And at the last one that John and Dave and I attended, they had lost 2 of their fellowship members, had passed. And one gentleman's name was John E. Stone Sr. His sunset came on August the 16th, 2019. He was not a veteran, but he was also part of the fellowship. The second gentleman that passed was Charles P. Asby. His sunset was August the 27th, 2019. The families of these fallen parishioners were all invited to the breakfast, and they all had an opportunity to memorialize the 2 men. And ultimately, their names are placed on a plaque within the rectory of the church. And I thought it was really, it was a pretty nice thing that what Reverend Mallory did. But in that same note, I want to warn everybody that's in this room that's over 50. I'm way over 50. What do you think, Pete? I saw my pulmonary doctor a couple of weeks ago, and he asked me if I had ever had shingles. And I said, well, no, I had a shingles vaccine 9 years ago. And he said, you need to get that vaccine again. And I said, well, okay. Well, I made the arrangements through the pharmacy at CVS at Lincoln and Landis, and I went and got this needle in my arm. And within a matter of hours, I had all the symptoms of the full-blown flu. And I mean, it took me down for almost 24 hours. And in that interim, you know, there was the Reverend Mallory's breakfast, and then, of course, there was the Halloween celebration at Sawmill Park. And believe me when I tell you, I was dying. I couldn't even stand up. So I'm warning you, if you go get this shot, you know, be prepared for a little bit of a reaction. And the nice part about this, you got to go back in 2 months and get another one. So I have that all to look forward to all, again. So but according to my lung guy, this shingles thing is running rampant in this part of South Jersey. And I think if you haven't had the vaccine, my father had shingles when he was 50. It was the most awful thing I'd ever seen, and I would suggest you get it. Halloween's coming up. The 4 villages other than Hollings Lakes, we changed the hours from 4 to 6 so that the children would be on the street going door to door in at least some daylight. Hollings Lakes, a little bit different geography. They'll have their celebration from 6 to 8. But what's more important is I've gone to the Assistant State Police Commander, and I've asked for a greater police presence in all 4 of those villages from 4 to 6, and Collings Lakes from 6 to 8. So, I'm just telling you, be cautious, tell your friends and family, slow down, slow down. We don't want to lose a child, trying to pick up some candy. Other than that, I have no report. Thank you, Teresa.
Yeah. Thank you, Steve. I just want to add, don't let Steve discourage you from getting these shots,
No,
especially the
don't,
flu
no,
shot.
don't. No, don't.
Even though he had a hard time, it still will help prevent that dreaded disease, so don't let him discourage you with that
If
comment.
you've had chickenpox, you're eligible.
Make
Okay.
sure he gets a premium shot.
All right, Mr. Turner?
Sure. All I have there, of course, I went to the Halloween party at Sawmill, and, be careful with the kids on Halloween. People are lacing candy with, drugs, okay? So just be careful. I do a lot, did a lot of things, during the month, and everything, and I continue to, take care of Buena Vista Township. I'm a stickler for how our township looks, and I continuously, call in when people keep their properties like it shouldn't be. And I realize it's a rural area, as I said many times, but still you should keep your properties up because it affects other people's property values, even though this is a rural area and everything. So that's me, and I continue to look out for Buena Vista. Buena Vista will always be first.
Okay, thank you, Dave. John?
Yes, I also attended the Sawmill Park Halloween celebration, and at the celebration, the Environmental Commission gave out approximately 160 apples, and we had also had recipes for making caramel apples inside the bags, and we also gave out non-disposable grocery bags for about the same number, about 160. And
Mr. Simone donated them.
what's that?
Mr. Simone donated
Yes,
them.
they were donated by Sebastian Simone. He owns the apple orchard on Oak Road, and he donated all the apples for us, and we were pleased that he donated those. Also, I attended today a phone meeting for the 5440 shuttle, and the shuttle is coming back due to it's approximately 45 passengers per day on and off, and it is coming back. We eventually hope to get back to our 60 rate that we had about a year and a half ago, and that was due to the train being shut down that it decreased. And we're also implemented a new schedule on October 14th, and with this new schedule, the shuttle will wait for the people coming off the train. It'll arrive at different times, and then it departs like 5 to 10 minutes later after it arrives. So that way it picks up the train arriving, which it hadn't done in the past. Also, they switched the times for the PM schedule a little earlier, and we figured that should help too for people traveling and want to come back on the shuttle. And I thank you for that. And also, I wanted to bring up 2 items that we completed through Lisa and Public Works help. One was the Collins Lakes Nature Trail. The trail was originally supposed to be completed in 2018, but the Township Administrator, Lisa Tilton, received an extension until August 5th. But the trail had to be constructed and completed by that deadline. And the Township was set to receive consideration from the Pinelands on May 10th, which they did, and then the Phase 1 was constructed, which consisted of a 1-mile trail. The administrator worked on closing out the project, and the closeout was submitted and provided additional details for reimbursement. The closeout was approved, and we're awaiting payment for the trail. And one unique thing about the trail was that the pylons required us not to remove any trees, so that was very difficult when they made the trail, and they got it done on time and with no problems with that, and that took some doing. And I just wanted to thank them and Lisa for their work on that project, because it wouldn't have happened unless we got that approval and got that extension, and Public Works finished it that on time.
And you're already reimbursed for that, Lisa, you said?
We just received the money back for a little over 10,000, so our match was only, I believe it was about 1,500, and we received over $10,000 back.
And I also want to thank Gene Sykes' grandson for doing the trailhead piece, because we demonstrated that last month, and we gave him a Buena Vista Proud Award, and I was thankful for that. Also, one other thing I wanted to mention is the Sustainable Jersey project. Lisa, as the township clerk, works on the recertification around for silver, and she submitted the recertification in June as for silver, but it was reviewed from Sustainable Jersey, and we're currently listed as bronze. Updates to the application were made and resubmitted for bronze certification, and submission for the bronze has been completed and approved, right, Lisa?
And approved for bronze.
Okay. Thank you, I appreciate that, and that was a lot of work, and it's a lot of work for Sustainable Jersey to receive those certifications, and I just wanted to thank her again for that.
It also should be noted that John and Lisa and a number of the folks on the township have made it clear to the state that the burden they put on the amount of projects and time for some of what's under Sustainable Jersey, and some of which things you create this year and cannot be reutilized, it's very costly to the towns in a people power effort to try to keep pace with what some big towns can afford. And I'm hoping someday that law gets changed, or most of the small towns will be bronze, like you said, John.
Right. I thank you for that, Chuck. Okay, and that's all I have, Teresa.
John, wait a
Thank you.
minute.
Okay.
John, you asked Larry to come here, and you were gonna talk about Flag Day.
Yes, I
On
did.
Wednesday, right?
I did neglect to mention that, and it's flags for founding fallen soldiers, and it's a organization that does this throughout the state, and they put up 600 flags, right, Lisa?
660.
660, that's right. Okay, and that's supported by the Knights of Columbus?
That's correct.
Throughout the state?
Yep.
And you're gonna be doing that on Wednesday at 10 a.m.?
Correct.
Correct.
It's not, hopefully, cross our fingers, not supposed to rain. It was scheduled for today, but with all the rain that we had, it is scheduled for Wednesday. They plan on being here a little after 9. The kickoff is around 10. To be able to lay 660 individual American flags right here at Town Hall in the front circle. It is a great organization. It brings great awareness to the suicide rate for any fallen soldier, that for what they face. So it took a little bit for the organization. They are needed and wanted to do this in every location. I don't want to say I begged and begged and begged, but they definitely agreed when they came out and took a look at the site and thought it's a great site to be able to show the awareness. So they do plan on coming this Wednesday. The display will be up for 30 days, so it'll be through our Veterans Day ceremony that we will have here as well.
Oh, great, good.
So,
And Lisa, what does that represent again, the number?
these 660 flags represents the average of fallen soldiers that commit suicide. Whether it's through, various, whether it's PTSD or things that, unfortunately they're not able to overcome. So it definitely brings awareness to those organizations, and like Committeeman Williams said, it's hosted through the Knights of Columbus in conjunction with them. So it's a pretty big organization. They've had displays everywhere between Stockton College, individual municipalities. They just had one over at Atlantic City Electric just recently, several months ago. So they move around as different areas that they can.
Also, they had one over in Hamilton at the Atlantic Care Complex on White Horse Pike, and went over there to my doctors, and I seen it, and I stood out there for about 10 minutes before I even went into the docks. And I had tears in my eyes, you know, because I'm a vet. And it's outstanding. It's an outstanding thing. It's going to be outstanding out here, you know.
We brought that up at our last meeting, because they had it there last month.
Yeah, yeah, it was really outstanding, and I'm looking forward to seeing it here at Township Hall.
And is there gonna be a service here? Is there gonna be something here on Wednesday?
Yes, at 10 a.m. So you're welcome to come out and help lay the flags. They will be giving a presentation regarding it, and then the laying of the flags for the 660 flags.
And I can bring people with me?
Absolutely.
And that's why I contacted Larry Adair. He's the Disabled American Veterans Commander from Hamilton, so that's why I wanted him to come tonight, so.
Yep. If you'd like to
hear
show
about
like around 9:30, I know that they plan on bringing coffee and donuts and a quick get-together and then their presentation and then the laying of the flags, so
I'd be honored to come, okay?
absolutely, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for inviting me. Thanks for that,
Thank
Steve.
you.
All right, you're welcome, John.
Okay, and just to add to that, it's a sad thing about the mental health, and at least maybe this will bring attention to the mental health issues. We need more of that to be addressed, and I know there's more of a concentration on education and mental health awareness, so we're glad to highlight that when we can. And some of the things were mentioned, so I'll just be brief. The Holiday Fall Festival, we appreciate Public Works and all our volunteers that came out. Also, the Atlantic County Library came out and had a table, and we appreciate them. Con Valley was open also, and so people were able to go there after that. The schedule that was mentioned, here are the exact dates for the 35th Annual Open House Con Valley Model Railroad Club. November 16th, 2019, December 7th, 8th, 14th, and 15th, 21 and 22 in 2019. In January, it's the 4th, 5th, 11th, 12th, 18th, and 19th of 2020. So the admission is free, and everyone is welcome to come out to that. Also, I attended the Atlantic County Elected Officials Organization and recently the Mayor's Organization. The only highlight was that they are trying to pass Bill A 5726, which is to help to help increase the pay raise of the election workers. The pay raise has not been changed since 2001, and it's $200 of the day, and they usually start at, was it 5 a.m. now?
5 a.m. till
5 a.m. till maybe 9 o'clock,
Yeah,
so it's a long day, and so the Bill A 5726 will increase the amount that they get to work on elections to $300. So that was one of the main issues that they brought up. Also, I know we neighbor Weymouth Township, and on November 16th, they're dedicating their town hall to Dominic Messina, who has passed away this year, and they're having a dedication November 16th, 2019, at the Weymouth Hall building at 2 p.m. to dedicate that hall to him since he passed. And that's another announcement I have. And a lot of them were made, so I won't go. We are having our holiday gift November 16th, 10 to 4 here at Town Hall, where we will have vendors for people to come to. So that's another thing. I don't know if that was mentioned. And our tree lighting, 20th annual tree lighting, Friday, December 6th, here at 6:30. So everyone is welcome. And I think these are the only things I really have tonight. And that's it. Anybody else before we open to the public for
Mayor
public
Sherrill.
comments? Mayor, I'm sorry. You have anything to add?
Well, we got our usual monthly reports. Our tax collections are up. We have our animal control officers' reports. Most everything is on par for normal, rather than hitting you with a bunch of figures at this hour.
Okay. All right, so now, you want to read number 14, then we'll open to the public?
Item
Steve?
14, public comment. The committee welcomes participation of interested organizations and individuals during regular caucus, workshop, and special meetings. However, in order to conduct the business of the township in the most productive manner possible, attendees will be given 4 minutes, all-inclusive, including all dialogue, questions, and responses from both the speaker and the committee for the designated public portion of the meeting. There may be no transference of a speaker's time to other attendees. Please stand at the microphone at the appropriate time. State your name and address for the record. Thank you. Motion to open to the public.
Motion second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now the meeting's open for the public. Anyone, please come up.
Good evening. Peter Bylund, 5104 Landis Avenue. It's nice to see everyone up here. As Mr. Cirillo said earlier, he has not been in a meeting since 2017, I believe, and it's almost 2 years. I believe it's time, for the best interest of the residents of Buena Vista Township, that the committee address this situation and possibly replace on the seat. I don't think it's right, and that it went this long, and it's time to take action. I don't know how any of the township committee feels. Steve, do you think this is right? Or John? Dave? I don't think it's right to go along this long. I have sympathy for Chuck, and I appreciate what he's going through. I wish that on nobody. But I believe that for the benefit of the township, efficiency for working in the office, that this township committee should address the situation.
Okay, thank you for your
Thank you.
comment. But I just want to say, Chuck has been keeping up with all of the work. Just to let you know, he's not doing anything, so just as a comment to answer that. Anybody else from the public?
Eric Hensel from Millmay, New Jersey. And the two things, just on a totally different subject, but I do want to compliment the Public Works Department. I was here about 2 years ago addressing some of the dead trees that were really problems and whatever. And I see both really got to compliment Public Works and the county, both for addressing it. But the real reason I came, I've been wanting to stop over for the last year or so. I'm tied up on Monday nights. But I'm concerned with the possibility of this county-wide assessment. I don't know where that's standing or whatever, but I'm totally lost how we can have the same outfit doing assessments in Linwood and Margate and Millmay. I mean, we're talking about totally different worlds. If you look at a political map of Millmay with the, it looks like some real super valuable real estate. But you've got to take in the pineland zoning, you got to take wetlands, you got to take unimproved streets, and I'm lost how that same outfit can do fair on both places. When you look at the town of Millmay, number one, it's right in the middle of wetlands, the Tuckahoe River running right through it with swamps, paper streets, there's alleys. Just within the last several months, Sidelines bought an alley from the township, 20-foot wide and 600-foot long, that affects 8 properties. If you go from one property to the other, back to back, but you got a 20-foot alley now that somebody else owns. I think those things have to be addressed. And almost to the point that with the planning board and whatever and lawyers involved, it's almost a condition where a whiteout would serve better than a political thing. A lot of Millmay was laid out in lots 50 foot by 200 foot. And for somebody to come from doing Margate and looking at this, I'm not sure we're going to have a fair, there's a lot of lots, not only with paper streets, that you have to improve. You might have to put $30,000 or $40,000 into a street, maybe more, to be able to build on it, but on a paper map, it looks great. We had two homes being built on Tuckahoe Road. Excuse me, one's in the process of being built now, and one within the last year or two, several years. But when they started to put the basement in, found out the water table was 2 feet. One on Tuckahoe Road now had hauled in, I'd say at least 200 10-wheeler loads of fill. I think that all that type of thing affects property values, and I'm not sure that someone from Margate, doing Margate and Linwood, can really appreciate what's happening in Buena Vista Township, not only Millmay. And I think that's
If you
all
don't
I want.
mind, Eric, I'd like to make a comment to you on it. It is a very critical thing that has reared its ugly head about 3 or 4 times in the last 3 or 4 years. Each time this governing body has absolutely rejected the concept of having a unified county system. There has been not a proper study done to do most of what you outlined there to show any cost savings, show us how we benefit versus another town. It does not take any of that into consideration. They bring it forward, they try to get all the mayors and towns to say yes, because, you know, the word cost savings sounds good, except prove it. And this is an issue that has bipartisanly been rejected over the last 4 years. It came about as an idea of something they did in Gloucester County, and they made Gloucester County look like it was the runaway success of the nation, but they also received a large sum of money to implement the program, and that helped offset any.
Yeah, Mayor, they received $10 million, Gloucester County, when they instituted this, and this is maybe 10 years ago now, so that's sort of been the model that they use. But I don't think there's much support if there's another bill that has come up about it, because I know the last few meetings, everybody was against it. So it's probably just a bill that may not go anywhere as far as we know at this point. Just
Yeah, the bill
We
was
have
squashed the last time.
The bill was quashed. It was
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah,
We voted against it.
A certain assemblyman brought it up, and he realized nobody wanted it. So, you know, they tabled it there, and for the time being, it's dormant right now.
But it does look like it's dead, am I understanding right?
And the cost for Atlantic County would be much more than Gloucester County, and that was approximately $12 million. So,
Well,
Plus, we believe that it's better to have your own assessor.
I
that
fully
knows
agree,
that
I
knows
fully
your
agree.
town and everything. And I just, personally, I just don't like that countywide assessment. It's better to have your own assessor and do your own.
Well, if
stuff.
it's dead, I'm happy, so,
It might have
But,
came up again, and we don't know it, but I
Yeah,
mean,
no,
last
but,
time it didn't go anywhere, so
Yeah.
maybe we shouldn't worry about it yet, but we'll keep our eyes on it if it comes up at any of these meetings that they're proposing.
I do think.
but we are opposed to that.
Absolutely.
I am, I know most of the
Yeah.
members are.
One thing
Not all.
with Millmay especially is we have a super high water table
Right.
at times. I mean, you know, when extreme. With Millmay, the odd thing is we're right on top of the watershed. I farm, and the water off my farm, off one part of it, goes to the Delaware Bay. Off the other part, it goes to the Atlantic Ocean. We're right on top of the watershed. But there's no streams to stabilize it. And it's just incredible how, I know the one home that was built or is being built down the road from me, that when they went to start digging a cellar, they went down about 18 inches, and they hit first water already in the houses. They've hauled in at least 200 loads of fill already. I thank you.
Thank you.
The unfortunate thing is the assessors have each time this arose, grabbed the bull by the horns and made their local officials start taking a serious look at what was being proposed. And in each case, nothing to our benefit was being proposed.
Oh, yeah, was it last year, Chuck, the Assessors Association called you and then you were able to get it stopped?
Yes.
That was
Well,
last year.
they called, and with just a handful of phone calls, going back to the key towns involved, including Buena Vista, we did put a stop to it. Prior to that, we had to get the towns together jointly, that this was a bipartisan issue in both our best interest and their best interest, to not have it happen. But it's happened 3 times already. No good reason for it, no good explanation, no funding for it.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else from the public before we close?
Hi, Julie Akers from Newtonville again. I've been kind of struggling with what I wanted to say, and I guess I'm going to speak directly to Chuck. Chuck, I've known you since 1988, when we were both on the Environmental Commission together, and I know you've put in a tremendous amount of time in our township, and I don't think anybody is saying that you don't care about our town and that you haven't committed, as you said, 200% to the dealings in our town. But I'm listening to you now, and to me you sound like really tired. I don't know, except from what you've said, what your physical condition is, but I'm sure you are pushing every single bit that you can. No, I don't wish you to be like that at all, but I really think that you need to take care of yourself better. And in knowing you over all these years, you have had your finger on the pulse of everything. And I can't imagine how you are trying to continue to do that. I think that there's people here in the audience, the people that you have up here, some of the newer people who are part of our staff, part of our government. You have developed a really good system. You've got great staff, and I guess that's why I say that I wish you would take the time to take care of yourself and let the team up here do what they're doing.
And let me say, Julie, I appreciate the words and the way you're saying them. It actually gives me inspiration to keep moving and keep pushing. I tell people sometimes they didn't get the brain and they didn't get the throat. And as long as I have that and I'm able to think and participate and be recognized around the state in regards to getting us the help we need for this town, this committee is moving along very fine. They're all learning. They're all doing things that they weren't doing a few years ago. And I'm very proud of them. Personally, I still have the energy. Maybe it's my 64 years of voice that sounds a little bit older, but I haven't had any throat work done. And I certainly like people to give me a little bit more time. I've explored a number of different opportunities to try to resolve this issue. But I'd rather be straightforward with it, okay? I don't want to say, oh, he's hiding something from someone. It certainly can't be from the large pay scale that we do get here in Buena Vista, that's for sure. Between gas and donations to charitable organizations and things that we all do, all of the committee members do, every year, it is, you got to either love it or you got to love it. And I do love it, and I appreciate the kind sentiments. I'm going to continue for right this moment to try to do the best that I can. And I don't want to disappoint anybody, but if they understood the volume of things that has to get done to keep the township in the spotlight, make connections, do the things that are necessary, it doesn't have to be directly behind the driver's seat.
Well, I guess, I'm listening to what you say, and I'm going to argue with you because I do think that the people here are doing the job, and I don't see you getting better. Some people alluded to you haven't been here, and that is something that I think you keep bringing that up, that you tell the audience, I'm not here, but I am here. So I think that's, I always dig into like some of the points about, what the finances are. So it's not about what you get paid, but it's like what other people have to do to accommodate, to like make sure you get all the information that's there. Are people bringing stuff to you? How is that working that's like efficient for the township? And it's, I understand your position, but that's something that we as the, constituents, like that's a concern that I do have too. Besides your personal, you got to be, you're killing yourself, Chuck.
I haven't missed one township meeting, whether it be by phone, by Skype, by conference call, or whatever is available to us nowadays as tools. And as a citizen, I believe that I personally, this is me speaking, not speaking on behalf of the committee or anybody else, I feel that I have the right to serve, whether I'm handicapped or not handicapped. There's a few very famous people along the way. You don't know what kind of shape they were in until we got modern cameras and movies and things to show how difficult it was to have, Franklin Roosevelt, one of our greatest presidents of all time, managed to get up and out of a chair and do what he had to do. But they did it, and they did it because of willpower. So I'm just telling you how I feel. I want people to know that, because I know that this is going to come around. I have a pretty good sense of the township. I still have a lot of friends in the township that have been very, very encouraging and very, very supportive of what has gone on. And I did not want to avoid directly talking about the topic, but I've had to try a number of different ways to resolve it. And the big problem is, every surgery I had has been totally successful. Only thing they can't do is get me walking again. So we're looking at an alternative for that. And if there is such a thing that I can do and participate like many injured people do through wheelchair or some other kind of way of getting in and out to meetings, I still would like to go in that direction and try that out. And I don't think people will be disappointed in that.
Okay, well, I wanted to address my comments to you, and I guess to the rest of the committee, I just want to say that I still feel Chuck should, back down, because you guys have got it under control and you're working on it, and he needs to get better. I mean, he needs to get some, time to rest. I don't know when you're reading all this stuff, Chuck, but I'm assuming you've got to be resting, and that's, I'm encouraging you, Township Committee people, staff people, to maybe help Chuck decide if it gets to the point where he's really pushing it too far.
All right, thanks, Julie.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for
Julie,
your
I want to
sincere
respond to both you
comments.
and Pete Bylone. All of us here, the four of us that are sitting here, we've had to step up and we've had to take responsibility for different things within our realm as subcommittee representatives and township committee people. We've all come to terms with the fact that we all have equal power. We all have equal authority. We have the ability to call the engineer. We have the ability to contact the attorney. We have the ability to come in here and ask the township administrator, is everything going okay? And we do that. That's what we do. I'm here 3 to 5 times a week, and sometimes on Saturday. And I cruise through the building and I find out what's going on, because I believe that's my civic responsibility. I believe that that's what I'm obligated to do. Now, Teresa is a bit compromised because she's working in Trenton, most of the week. But I also know that she's here as well. Now,
At night and on weekends.
Now, getting back to Pete's suggestion, I'm not even going to talk about Chuck Chirillo. I'm not going to try to degrade what he's done over the last 28 years. I'm not going to do that. But what I can say is I can compare myself. Everybody in this room knows that I have emphysema, that I have COPD, I have problems with the sodium. I've been in the hospital a couple of times. I fractured my skull a long time ago. I have diabetes insipidus, but I have all those things in check. I have a battery of doctors that keep me in check. But the day that I can't get out of bed, the day that Steve Martinelli cannot get out of bed, I will resign that day. I will give it up to someone younger, boots on the ground, running hard. That's how I ran my life as an adult, and that's how I'm going to run my life until God takes me away, or I resign 3 years from now. It's that simple. Now, I don't know how the other folks feel. David is around here like I am. John gets over here when he can. John covers his area in Collins Lakes. David covers his in Newtonville, and I try to hit Richland. And my biggest thing right now is communicating with the farmers, because the farmers are having a little bit of trouble. And I make sure that if I can't visit them, I talk to them. But I think it's my civic duty to take responsibility for being elected. It's that simple. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else before we adjourn? Okay.
Hi, Carlo Favretto, Richland. I just wanted to make 2 announcements, things that are going on in the town that I think you should be aware of in terms of the school. As you know, I am a school board member, so I like to support all events happening in our school district. One of which is happening this Wednesday. That's Buena night at Buena Regional High School. This is an event that goes on from 6 to 8. It involves trick-or-treating, arts and crafts that the high school students, their clubs, organize, as well as the Buena Regional High School Teachers Association. So I would just encourage the community to come out. The clubs will be handing out candy, the teachers handing out candy, and I'll be there too. So come check us out. Another awesome community event that's going on to support our band is actually happening this Sunday, the 3rd, at Martin's Custom Catering from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. That's a fundraiser for the Buena Regional High School Band. Recently, we put in the funding for brand new uniforms for them that they've been able to put on awesome shows with. As we know, school funding is not necessarily always there for all the programs that need it. So I would encourage the community to come out to that event from 8 to 12 this Sunday at Martin's Custom Catering. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else before we adjourn? Okay, have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to close to the public.
Oh, yes, sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, then, a motion to adjourn?
Moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, have a good night, everyone, and a safe Halloween.
14.